Okay, this is like take 4. Hopefully it'll get it this time. Spell slots. What are they, and what do they do? Well, at the most basic, they effectively give you a way to quickly evaluate a spell's power. Starting off a cantrip and then ranging from levels 1 through 9, there are over 500 different spells you can choose from in 5th edition. Choosing from this massive list can be pretty difficult, which is why for today's video we're going to be going over 5 must-have first level spells. First things first, I have made another video like this in the past covering specifically cantrips that I linked in the description box below if you wanted to check that out. The first spell for today is likely to appear on the top 10 must-have spells of all time, but for today's video it won up the top slot of all first levels, and that would be Find Familiar. If you don't already know what this spell is, it effectively gives you a little spiritual companion. If you've seen our livestream Behold This Crit, you may recall Posy's companion Marzipan, which is a great example of this spell. The nice thing about the companion is that it appears like a normal animal, but since it's a spirit, it can't technically die. When the companion does die or hit 0 hit points, it just pops back into a pocket dimension, and then it just waits for you to call it again like nothing ever happened. But that doesn't seem like a must-have spell yet. Well, there's more to it than that. You and this creature have a telepathic link that grants you 2 main benefits. 1, you can communicate telepathically with the creature up to 100 feet, and 2, you can see through its eyes and hear what it hears while doing so. This, coupled with the fact that your companion could technically fly depending upon the form it takes, is a great reconnaissance spell. But that's not even the end of the benefits. It also can be pretty helpful in combat, acting on its own separate initiative. While it can't attack, it can still do anything else within its capabilities, so things like using an object or taking the help action are both possible ways to aid you in battle. Not to mention, there are some really fun and unique combos you could pull off with this spell, but they seem to have slipped my mind at the moment. Oh man, if only there was some really great video narrated by some super cool and handsome guy that went over all of these things. That would be really, really helpful, and I'd definitely go watch it and subscribe to that guy. Anyways, if you haven't already, I highly suggest taking a look at Find Familiar. It's always useful and incredibly fun having a little spirit buddy helping you out when you need it. Moving on to our next spell, we have Chaos Bolt. Now, I know what you might be thinking. What Chaos Bolt? Who the heck picks Chaos Bolt? There are so many other better spells, blah blah blah, yada yada yada. Well, I picked Chaos Bolt because I think it's cool and it's my list, so there. Anyways, I picked Chaos Bolt for a very specific reason. It is no secret that I like to spice things up every now and again, and you can probably see that from my past videos or our live stream show. And this spell does just that. It spices things up, but it creates chaos, and I live for chaos. I strive for it. I need chaos. And if you're like me and you need your daily dose of chaos, be sure to hit that subscribe button because I can certainly provide that, at least 2 days a week, because that's how often we upload video. Anyways. This spell creates, and I quote, a warbling mass of chaotic energy. Now, from a connoisseur of chaos and wibbly-wobbly, wimey-timey mumbo-jumbo, I already love this spell for the description, but allow me to elaborate. You make a ranged spell attack against a creature and on a hit deal 2d8 plus 1d6 damage. But the kicker is, depending upon what you roll, determines the type of damage you deal. This spell can be nearly any type of damage, and while it's technically random, it still adds a nice bit of flavor of variety than simply casting Firebolt or Eldritch Blast for the 17th time in a row. But aside from the extra damage types you get, there's also another bonus effect. As a warbling mass of chaotic energy, if you roll the same number on both d8s, then the chaotic energy leaps out from the target to strike another target within 30 feet. And this is the chaos that I was talking about. It's uncontrollable and untamable energy, and you might even strike your allies if you're unlucky enough. If this happens, you simply roll an attack roll, and if it happens again, the same process continues. And before you ask, yes, this can continually happen. If you are so lucky or unlucky enough to roll the same numbers again, it jumps to another creature. So now you know exactly what I meant when I said chaos. It's not exactly wild magic levels of chaos, but it definitely adds some much needed flair to lower level combat, and it can even be quite effective with the variety of damage types and potential for multi-target damage. Either way, it is a great spell and one that you should definitely consider whenever you're looking at a new level 1 spell. Next up on our list is a spell you've probably expected to be on this list because I've talked about it so damn much, and that is the spell Silvery Barbs. This spell is... you just need to take it, okay? Trust me. In terms of combat effectiveness, it is one of the best spells probably in the entire game. This spell uses a reaction to distract a creature whenever they roll a d20. Whenever. That's it. Now, it might seem incredibly simple, but it's actually amazing, and here's why. Whether the d20 roll is for an attack, a saving throw, literally anything, they must roll another d20 and take the lowest number. Effectively, impose disadvantage whenever you need it once per round. You also get the added bonus of granting advantage to any other creature on their next d20 roll. So not only does it effectively impose disadvantage, it also provides advantage. If you are still not convinced by the barbs of silver, allow me to set the scene. You're fighting the end boss of your entire campaign, an ancient dragon. You and your party have been going back and forth, swing for swing, and both sides are wearing down. It's clear at this point, the next round will decide the outcome of this battle and the fate of the land. Your party's druid, the homeless wanderer turned hero whom you've spent years with. They cast their last high-level spell, Sunbeam, and pray to Sylvanas that they fail to save. The blast looks effective enough at first. Radiant energy blasts from the druid's clenched fists, engulfing the creature. But you still see the dragons form through the light, so you, prone on the ground and bloody, cast your last spell, Silvery Barbs at the dragon. The dragon winces, cursing you, and in that moment, the druid releases the remainder of the beam, completely engulfing the dragon. You hear the dragon's roar of pain until it finally falls deathly silent, and then there's a moment of quiet. The druid, panting, out of breath from his attack in the battle. You, prone on the ground and bleeding, and as the last radiant light fades, you see the seared corpse of the dragon. You and the druid share a look, acknowledging the part you both played in this outcome. Both helped up by your friends, you stand, and take one final look together at the corpse of your ancient foe. And as the sun sets on the battle, the survivors of the destroyed city cheer, for you are heroes. I got a bit emotional from that one, I gotta calm down. But come on, that sounded pretty epic, right? Okay, that may or may not have been a dramatic D&D representation of nearly every Dragon Ball Z fight, but you get the idea. Just take Silvery Barbs, honestly, it's a great spell. Next up, we have a spell on our list that many might have initially overlooked, and that would be the spell Bless. When you cast a spell, you can bless up to 3 creatures, and whenever those creatures make either an attack or a saving throw, they can add a d4 to their roll. This effect is concentration and lasts up to a minute, so you can effectively buff 3 members of your party for 6 rounds of combat. Now, I know adding a d4 doesn't sound like much of a buff, but it can make a huge difference in key moments of battle. Let's picture it this way. When blessed, a creature increases their chance to succeed on an attack or a saving throw by up to 20%. That sounds a lot better than a d4, doesn't it? Providing both offensive and defensive bonuses really makes this spell stand out above the crowd when you're looking at other level 1 spells. And since it only adds a d4, many players might not think much of it until they realize how big of a bonus it could actually be. So if you don't start out with Bless, at least keep your eye out for the opportunity to get your hand on this amazing spell. And moving on to the final spell for today, we have what is likely one of the best defensive spells in the game, and that would be the spell Shield. This spell is exactly what it sounds like. It creates a magical shield of force to protect the caster. It grants +5 AC to the caster until the start of their next turn. If Bless impressed you with its defensive capabilities, prepare to be overwhelmed. Or maybe just whelmed. I don't know you, I don't know what's impressive to you. But adding +5 to your AC increases the chance that an attack would miss you by 25%. I know, mind blown. This is a huge defensive bonus, and that's not even the best part. The shield lasts until the start of your next turn. Allow me to clarify that. Start of your next turn. So, if you're fighting 5 enemies, you can cast shield on their turn, and you have that increased AC for the entirety of the rest of their turns until it's your turn again, at which point you can then cast shield again once you're attacked. Honestly, in terms of raw effectiveness, this spell is really hard to beat. A level 1 spell, usable as a reaction, and decreases your chances to be hit by 25%, I would be hard-pressed to find a better first level spell. Unless you're talking about Silvery Barbs, because you need to take that spell. But then again, I could also say that about all of the other spells on this list. But anyways, that's all I have for today's video. If you're looking for other spells that you must have, remember, I have made other videos like this in the past, and I've linked them in the description box below for you to check out. Also, if you think I missed any must-have spells, let me know in the comment section below. I read every single comment, almost always reply, and who knows, I might even feature it in the next video. Thank you very much for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you on Friday.